How many Webleys do you have?
Lots. Now, most of them are military Webleys, the big tip downs. I've got, Mark 1 to Mark 6.
Good. Oh, okay.
And then the World War II ones.
Did you get Sam?
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation. Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded.
Bonus video I want to do for everyone out there. Sam made the holsters for the Magnificent Seven movie, which is an awesome movie.
Great movie.
Yeah. I think you did a great job on the holsters. They really stood out. When you look at the movie, it really stands. I mean, maybe it's just because I know you, but they really did stand out.
I thought they showed very well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you should get an Oscar for Best Holster.
I'm not sure there's a category for Best Holster.
No. Someone
might have to suggest it to the Academy.
Someone needs to make this category. I want to see you go up there and get your Oscar.
I can do one of those long acceptance speeches.
Yeah, you did a great job. So who exactly did you make holsters for in the movie?
Pretty well all the main stars, good guys and bad guys, pretty well anyone had a speaking part. I didn't do the 70 extras who were the criminal army in the end.
Yeah.
They just wore studio stuff. Right. Because they're getting shot off their horses in long range.
Yeah. And that was, the holsters you made, how many holsters in total did you make?
A lot. I don't know an exact count, but when you're making things for Hollywood, you don't just do one. Yeah. You'll make one for the star, one for the stunt double, perhaps an extra just as a backup rig. So it multiplies.
Yeah, absolutely. How long, first of all, let me ask you, how did you get that job doing that?
There's a gentleman who you'll see in the credits of the movie. He's a Mr. Thel Reed. And Thel was world fast draw champ several times. And he's been working in movies as a gun coach for years and years. He's also been wearing my leather for a long time. Mm-hmm. So when he got the contract to do this movie, he asked me to send some sample things out to show to Mr. Fuqua, who's the director.
Mm-hmm.
He liked
Excellent
them,
director.
Said, let's go with this guy, and I got the opportunity.
Right. Very cool. How long did it take you to do all these?
They had me running around for about 2 months with my hair on fire.
Yeah.
And they are wonderful people to work with, but they need everything
right now.
Deadline.
Yeah.
And then there's all the last minute crises and changes.
Yeah.
Kept it interesting.
So I think it would be cool for the guys if we went over. We don't have the actual old holsters here.
I have not had time to make duplicates. That's in the planning stages.
Right. And I think that you said that some of those holsters might be up for auction or something like that.
I got a call from a gentleman who was looking at buying Denzel Washington's rig on a movie property auction site.
Okay. That's cool. That's interesting that it's out there. So how about we start with Denzel's rig? What did you make for him? What kind of rig is it?
This is the pattern that I made for Denzel. He was wearing his holster backwards, doing what's called a twist or reverse draw.
Okay.
And I did argue with them about that because we both know that's unsafe. You're sweeping the muzzle right across your body. But they said it's in the script.
He had to have a superhero move.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a movie. Yeah, exactly. So it was a reverse rig, but is there a specific name for that rig and what you do, or this is just something you just made up?
I made it up for the character. They gave me the general parameters, and
wanting an actual name.
They left me very free to design what I wanted.
Oh, okay.
But they did give me how it had to work.
Oh, so all the holsters you made, these don't have specific names right now. They're just holsters that you made up.
Well, some are specific styles because we were doing historically based holsters. Mr. Fuqua is a fiend about accuracy, historical accuracy.
Right.
And so he didn't want everybody to wear the low on the leg bucket Hollywood holster, which we saw in all the 50s and 60s.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you wanted them to be period correct.
They were period.
So some of them did have specific styles, but the Denzel one didn't.
No, that was.
So that's a Denzel then.
That was totally a Denzel.
Yeah, from now on, anyone who wants that, it's a Denzel.
It was in a Western style.
Yeah. Now, what if someone wants that Denzel holster? They want you to make it. Would you?
I have a pattern. What I made once, I can make again.
Yeah. So if you want a Denzel holster, get in touch with Sam. So after Denzel, because we're looking at this thing behind us. So let's go. Before we go to Chris Pratt, let's go to Ethan Hawke. Did you do a special holster for him?
Ethan Hawke was wearing
this
cross draw because he's a rifle expert, and it's easier to handle your rifle when the pistol's not hitting.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
So he was wearing a Schofield, the Smith & Wesson tip-down revolver. And we did his with an alligator skin holster band around the middle and alligator teeth on it because he was playing a Cajun Louisiana, hence the Cajun connection.
Yeah, right. And he was supposed to be a little bit crazy.
A little bit crazy. He did that very well.
Yes, he did do a good job of doing crazy, which Ethan Hawke does. I don't know. He was born to do crazy. So his was a cross draw.
His was a cross draw.
Okay.
Butt forward, but you reach across for that draw.
Right. Okay. Very cool. All right. And so let's see. After him, if we come back over to Chris Pratt, what kind of holster did Chris Pratt?
Chris Pratt wore a 2-gun rig. These are the patterns for Chris Pratt's holsters. He had a strong side and a cross draw.
Okay.
So one while you're seated, one while you're standing, easy to reach.
Okay. So those were the same holster?
The different angle of carry.
Oh, okay.
And he wanted very plain, unadorned, workmanlike, no frills. His character was perpetually down on his luck. He was a gambler. He was flush. He was busted all the time. So his gear looked like he'd been living in it for a long time.
Yeah. Now I know this is a cool little thing about the movie. Here we go. So. This is your Webley.
I loaned the production company 3 Webley pocket revolvers for my collection because in the famous card trick scene, Chris needs to pull a little concealed backup gun to get out of trouble when he distracts them with the card.
Right.
You didn't let me finish. Your card was the King of Hearts, right? Is this your card?
Now you see, that was worth it, wasn't it? That was kind of good.
Pretty good.
That was
And they didn't want to just use another Remington double-barrel Derringer because that's been in every Western movie since the dawn of time. The little Webleys were popular in the Old West as hideout guns. So it gave it a little something unique.
Yeah. And it was yours that they used.
Right, I loaned them the weapons for them.
And this is it here.
This is the very gun that you see in the picture of Chris.
It's an official movie gun. We have to get that into the internet, the Firearms Internet Movie Database, Webley, that's belonging to Sam Andrews.
Now, this cartridge that it's chambered for, the little 45 short, hasn't been manufactured in probably 90 years. But Thel Reed said it worked every time with a 44 Russian blank.
With a blank. Okay, so it's a working gun.
Absolutely.
Worked on the movie, actually shot. Belongs to Sam. We got to get that all framed up and everything. With, I think, everyone knows this about Chris Pratt. He's a really nice guy, and you said that he sent you some stuff.
Well, he sent me a very nice thank you note for all the work. And he sent my young son a box of toys and T-shirts and nice letter and signed picture because I had mentioned to him that Ian was a fan.
Yeah.
So
very good guy.
Very classy.
Yeah. I never hear anything bad about Chris Pratt. Very hardworking, appreciates everything. And that's why he's getting all the movie roles right now.
There you go.
Which is cool. Okay, so who else's holsters are on here that we didn't cover?
This is the holster pattern for the Vasquez holsters.
Okay, now that was, Vasquez had the really pretty holsters, right?
Yeah. Beautiful 2-gun rig with all the silver on it, the tooling. I really labored over that.
So does that have a particular name, or that's something else you designed?
Well, the type of holster is called a Mexican loop, where the holster weaves back through its own skirt. There's slots, and the holster it goes through those to create a belt loop.
Yeah, and then you have like the little shields or the little medallions
the
on
conchos and the spots and everything went on top of that.
Yeah.
But any holster where it weaves through its own backing is known as a Mexican loop.
Okay.
And then there was another silver-mounted rig for the Indian character.
Okay.
And this one was based on the one that Geronimo was wearing when he surrendered to General Crook.
Oh, okay.
The only difference is there were 2 bands on Geronimo's holster. They said just do this with one.
Okay.
These were the 2 silver-covered rigs.
Yeah, those were really beautiful rigs. Now, you did the leather work, I'm sure. You didn't make all the silver work?
I purchased the silver. It was
you did?
beautifully handmade, hand-engraved silver conchos, bars and buckles.
Okay, so you bought that stuff and then you installed it in the holster and sent it out. Very nice.
Silver work would be another discipline entirely.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to put those on sale anywhere or whatever, but those would be really nice. Obviously, Denzel's holster in the movie, since he was like the big star in the movie, would be great. But those are really beautiful.
This
holsters.
one was the cast favorite. Everybody loved the Vasquez rig.
Yeah. Okay. So if someone wanted one of those, would you be able? I know the silver is going to be expensive.
I'd be able to reproduce it, but they better sit down when I tell them the cost, because
You're going to have to check the stock market
there was
to see what silver's going for.
lot of silver between the buckles and the conchas, the spots.
Now, what if they want it, but they want gold?
I don't know where to get gold.
Okay.
Not in those pieces.
Yes. Let me not start anything here. All right. Did we cover all the holsters?
Yes,
I think
there's
the basic ones.
the one here we did for Byung-Hung Lee.
Oh, okay. He's the Korean guy. He's in a lot of movies.
He primarily used his knives.
Right.
So he was wearing his revolver.
He had a really cool knife rig. Did you make that?
Yes, made the belt with all kinds of little attachment points for the knife sheaths. They had kind of spring clips on them that just held onto the belt.
Okay, very cool. And then, I mean, there's other guys up there, obviously, that we didn't touch on. There's D'Onofrio. I think you said you made a rig for him, but what they
had me make for him was a scabbard that went across his back to hold the long rifle on a kind of a sling arrangement. But when they tried filming with it, it was too ungainly in the way. So they put it aside, and his rig is just from Central Property. That wasn't one of my rigs.
Okay. Were there any other rigs like that, stuff that you made, but it didn't...
Well, Chris is wearing a shoulder holster that I made. Although in the movie, he never drew the gun from it.
Oh, okay. And then I think he has like a mare's leg type of gun in that movie as well, right?
Well, he picked it up off one of the downed bad guys.
Oh, okay.
Who's wearing this long holster that I did for that, but I'm not even sure you got that much view.
You didn't see it, yeah. But I do have one of those rigs.
You do indeed.
It's a Hank Strange rig, not a movie rig, not yet. Unless we make some kind of movie with it, but you did make that rig that's in there briefly.
Yes.
Okay, very cool. Do you have any other prospects of doing? First of all, is this the first movie that you've made holsters for?
Oh, we've done smaller pieces for like Sacha Cohen's Dictator.
Okay.
And the latest installment, I think, is number 8 of Fast and Furious, who did a Spinal Stingray shoulder holster for one of the female characters.
Oh, cool. Okay, so the new
number 8
that's coming up. Oh, nice. Okay.
I hope it gets good screen time.
Oh yeah. So that's cool. That's another thing. I was at SEMA recently and I saw some of the cars. So you did one of their holsters. Very good. So you're in the market if people want you to do holsters for their movies,
absolutely.
Right? Okay, very cool. Thanks, Sam. Thanks for sharing that.
As always.
Yeah, I'll roll in some of the pictures of this stuff. We don't obviously have the actual holsters here. It would take Sam so much time to get them made, but we might come back and do that.
Indeed.
Yeah, maybe we'll go one by one and we'll go through the holsters, or we'll do something, share it with you.
Make the crowd figure.
Yeah. Or if you've got other ideas of what we should do, feel free to, let us know, comment on there and all that other stuff that I always tell you to do, like share the videos and everything. It's, I'll tell you something that I went to see The Magnificent Seven with Sam in the movie theater, and then Sam was all dressed up, all fancy, and he came over to Lola and I, and then everyone was like, who's that guy that came over? And I was like, it's my buddy. He made all these holsters that we're looking at in this movie. And I was like, I was a little movie theater famous for
just a brief time.
Yeah, for the rest of the movie.
Right.
So that was really cool, man. I'm, proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Good work that you do. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.